Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Sandra. I'm a mom who's been touched by addiction. I lost my son to addiction just over a year ago, and we have Luke here, yay, who has been in recovery for over 2 years. And so we're here to share our experience as someone who's in recovery and someone who's been touched by addiction. And today's topic is relapse, and how relapse is not failure. No. And I know for me, Ben, when he was in recovery, he had a number of relapses. And one thing we would say, and Ben would always say, there's no mistakes, only lessons learned. Mm-hmm. And so Ben was able to recognize that although he relapsed, he was actually learning something each time. Whether it's what it's like at a rehab, what it's like at a detox, like those small lessons, but he's learned something. Mm-hmm. Also, he shared how he felt, and he felt like he was a failure. Yeah. Now, Luke, you have been in recovery for over 2 years. Yay, mm-hmm. And that's something to celebrate. But we always say relapse is part of recovery. And so can you share some experiences with your relapse and maybe what you went through? And I know as a mom, I wanted to fix them. And when he relapsed, it drove me crazy, the first one. Yeah. Until I learned. Until I learned. Right? So maybe you could share with others, what you go through when you relapse.
Yeah, so I first got sober and tried recovery was back in 2019. So yeah, it was 6 years ago. And I was 3.5 years sober when I relapsed. And when that happened, I was starting to kind of indulge in some old behaviors, and my honesty started slipping, and I was hiding, and there was always this real negative connotation around a relapse.
Right.
And I kind of was ignorant to it as well when I was first in recovery. Right. And when it happened, I was filled with tons of shame, a failure. I let everybody down. What is everybody going to think of me? Felt like my world collapsed. I ended up back in jail, was in a bad place. But what I've learned today is that relapse actually skyrocketed me into the life I'm living today. It went from a very big negative in my mind to the fact that we can learn a lot of things from it. You don't lose everything. You still have everything. You just, you lose a date.
Right.
But really, it's like you still have those tools, and I just need to pick them up and get honest with myself again.
Right.
And but it was hard. I didn't even want to come back to recovery because of the shame I felt and what people are going to think.
And I think that's really important for people to know. As a parent who had somebody that had relapsed, I know what I went through, but sometimes we have to reflect and see what you're going through. That it's not easy for you. It wasn't something that you thought, okay, well, I want to go back to using. It was a process. There's a reason it happened.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I know you told me that you weren't as honest as you could have been maybe in those 3 years, where now you're over 2 years and your recovery's different, would you say, than your last recovery?
Yes, yeah.
So what a great lesson you learned.
Oh, big time. Through that lesson, I learned that I needed to also, not just with a 12-step program of recovery, I need to go seek out therapy for some of the stuff in the past. Because I still had some stuff that I hadn't worked through either.
The traumas,
and where it would go into relationship related stuff, like love addiction and stuff like that. Right. So these are things that I would have never really known if I didn't have that experience with that relapse.
All right. And that's powerful. You relapsed, and it sucks. And I'm sure your parents were beside themselves.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But you could now see the good that came from it.
Yes.
And I say this to many people. I support people in parents who have loved ones that are using, and it's there's always a bright side. There's always a positive. There's always something to be grateful for. And I know it's hard to hear, but if your loved one relapsed, there may be a reason. Yeah. And it's hard to hear that, but hearing it from you, someone who has relapsed, and what you've learned.
Yes.
It's totally skyrocketed where you were when you were in recovery for 3 years. So I just want the loved ones to know it's not because of anything you did. It's not your fault. It freaking happens.
Yeah. And there's a good point to that with it's not their fault. When I had that relapse, my parents could see it starting to happen with my behavior. And then when it happened, because obviously they were in a place of trying to like protect me and like, you know, they were worried it was going to happen. And then when it happened, they got to that point of like, man, we've tried so much to have your support, and now you've gotten into so much trouble, and it's like all that. And thank God that they took that, they set boundaries and weren't gonna bail me out of jail, and you know, but they eventually did, and thank God they did that, because I was able to learn from those lessons, and we have an amazing relationship today. It's like it built on top, like learning those lessons.
Because they learned.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
This time they didn't try to fix it.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you were left. You probably felt, I'm left hanging dry here. Like, what am I going to do? Well, then you had a choice.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, if my parents are kind of turning away, they're still loving you, but they're setting their boundaries.
Yeah.
That made a difference for you.
A huge difference. Because you get that feeling of like, there is nothing they can do, and they're exhausted, and they're getting to that point of like, there's obviously nothing we can do here. He's got to go through this. We can love him from a distance.
Yeah.
But we got to see some sort of work. And they started hearing changes in my voice, and that's why they got me out and into rehab again and gave me another shot.
So, you know, for all the people out there, you know, we always say relapse is part of recovery. It sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong. When Ben relapsed, like sometimes he went deeper than he was before that.
Yeah.
Like it gets ugly. But what got me through it is focusing on myself.
Yeah.
And keeping my boundaries. Ben was going through his shit.
Yeah.
He felt like a failure. But he came through and he recovered again.
Yes.
Same with you. Like it sucks.
Yeah,
like we're not sugarcoating anything here.
No.
But the reality is, from our experience, both our experiences, which are from different perspectives, relapse is part of the recovery.
Yeah.
There are no mistakes, lessons learned. You're not a failure. It's
That's
just
a big one.
You're not a failure.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if there's any takeaway when there is a relapse, it sucks. But stop. Take a look within yourself. Like you had to look within yourself to do the work.
Yeah.
I had to look within myself because I can't fix you.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know, your parents couldn't fix you.
No.
We always say if love could cure, there would be no addiction.
There would be no addiction.
Nothing, right?
And did you, when you were focusing on yourself and doing your own work, was it more instead of being like, oh my God, this relapse happened, I got to grab control, or was it more of you were able to take care of yourself but encourage Ben to be like, hey, if you've gotten into recovery before, you can get back into it?
Exactly. That's exactly it. I would look at myself, take care of myself, but at the same time, I say, Ben, you know, just a reminder, you know what it's like to be in recovery. You know you have choices. And that's what I would always say, Ben, you have a choice. You could either choose to continue living the way you're living, and it is hard work. It's hard work being an addict. People don't see the hard work. Because you're looking for your next fix, the money, and all that insanity that comes with it, which maybe we'll do a video on just the insanity of being an addict and what you go through, right? You have a choice to do that, hard work, or go into recovery, which is also hard work.
Yeah, it is.
So I always said, you have choices just like I have choices. And my choice is I'm going to take care of myself. I love you. I will continue planting the seeds, hoping they'll germinate. I never told them what to do. But I'm there when you're ready. I will be healthy. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be healthy enough to support him when he was ready.
Exactly. That whole oxygen mask thing that we've talked about, right?
Kept that
Putting it on
me.
you, so then when the time's right, you could put it onto him, right?
Exactly.
And one thing I just want to like leave people off with is I thought it was the end of the world when that relapse happened. And when I got back into recovery, there was a song I listened to from Malcolm Moore, and something he says is, you know, if you can be an example of getting sober, you can be an example of starting over. And today, if that relapse didn't happen in recovery, I wouldn't have met, you know, you. I wouldn't be sitting here doing this. I wouldn't have met some of the beautiful people I've met. And now my vision of I wanted to work with like youth in that struggle with addiction, that door is opened, and I'm, you know, employed with a youth like addictions place now. And so there was a good in all of it, but it is our choice to pick it up and get back and start over, start where, you know, we left off, and turn that pain into purpose.
I got goosebumps because it's so true.
Yeah.
The timing might not be the way we like it,
Yeah.
you know, but everything is divinely timed. And I am so grateful that you got back into recovery, and that you had to have that relapse so that we could be doing this and sharing our experience, because we are not alone.
No, we aren't.
We are not alone.
No.
So stay tuned for our next video. And remember, where there is breath,
There is hope.
Peace, man.
Peace, man.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.